All right, let's start with the big story that we are tracking this morning, where the Indian government has slammed the British Lord Nazir Ahmed for parroting the Pakistani agenda in United Kingdom. Now, Indian Minister Kiran Rijiju has praised the Indians who also countered the Pakistani groups who are trying to stage a demonstration outside the Indian High Commission office in London on the eve of India's 69th Republic Day. Now, Kiran Rijiju said, and I quote, "Salute to the Indian patriots in London. The minuscule fringe elements cannot dent the spirit of India. We are all one, from Arunachal Pradesh to Jammu and Kashmir to Nagaland to the run of Kutch to Kanyakumari to Punjab," unquote. So this is what Kiran Rijiju had to say about these protests that took place in London in front of the Indian High Commission office. But also groups led by Lord Nazir Ahmed attempted to stage a protest outside the Indian High Commission but were vehemently countered by pro-India groups. Later, minor scuffles also were reported to have broken out between the two groups. Indians in Britain have slammed Lord Nazir for making the mockery of the British system by openly playing Pakistan's game on British soil.
I will humbly request and try to make attention to British government. They should think what these guys are doing. This is not good for the peace and harmony of this country. We Indians, we love this land. We love it. We are everywhere.
All right, now for more on this, we are joined in by my colleague Ramesh Ramachandran. Ramesh, good morning to you. This is almost a bizarre kind of a protest that has been staged by Lord Nazir Ahmed. What do we know about this individual and why protest on the eve of India's Republic Day?
Good morning, Mohammed. Now, to understand what happened yesterday afternoon in London, local time, is one way of understanding that is to understand where and who Lord Nazir Ahmed is. Now, he is a British lawmaker who is in the upper house of the British legislature, a member of the upper house, and he was born in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir, and he's been living in the UK ever since as a young toddler, and he has been a lawmaker for the last nearly 2 decades. What happened yesterday, Mohammed, was that, coinciding with India's Republic Day, Lord Nazir Ahmed and his supporters gathered outside Indian High Commission in central London yesterday afternoon local time to raise protests against the alleged occupation of Pakistan-occupied Kashmir and Kashmir in general, and they started raising slogans against India and the Indian government. Now, what was interesting, Mohammed, was that the diaspora is becoming so diverse and more active and vocal in its support for India that many Indians and British Indians gathered at the same time outside High Commission and raised pro-India slogans and started criticizing Lord Nazir Ahmed for raising a ruckus outside High Commission. So a scuffle broke out, it turned violent, and police had to intervene. But the fact remains that this is not new, but the fact is that diaspora is getting more vocal and coming out in support of India's position on the issue of Kashmir.
Right. And also, Ramesh, to try and understand as to why something like this should have played out in the streets of London in front of India's High Commission office, try and give us a sense as to why Lord Nazir must have got his members together, got his people together and tried to have staged a protest there. What was the message that he was trying to get across?
Well, as I mentioned, the man is the message in this case, Mohammed. Lord Nazir Ahmed, as I mentioned, has roots in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir.
Right.
He's been very vocal about Islamic issues, and he thought this was an opportune moment to attract media attention to his cause or his alleged cause against the so-called occupation of Kashmir by India. Now, as I mentioned, there were counter-protests happening around the same time by the Indian diaspora, which included Indian nationals and British Indians as well, and who came out in support of India's position, saying Indians need to be free of terrorism and Islamic terrorism in particular, and that Lord Nazir Ahmed should be criticized for raising frivolous issues outside Indian High Commission in London.
Right, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, Ramesh Ramachandran, for having joined us and having given us those insights into this bizarre sort of protest started by an individual of Pakistani origin, and it's almost bizarre that it should have been staged on the day of India's Republic Day celebrations.
Jai! Bharat Mata ki Jai! Bharat Mata ki Jai!